right now on News Channel 8 Today.
Breaking news this morning, a house fire in Hillsborough County with some suspicious graffiti found nearby. What investigators are saying as neighbors react.
And President-elect Donald Trump in his first sit-down interview since winning the election, what he said in the interview that could signal a change on some key issues like health care and immigration.
Then Bucs superstar receiver Mike Evans refusing to stand during the national anthem. The message Evans was trying to send about the election and the backlash on social media this morning. Good morning and welcome to News Channel 8 Today. I'm Gail Guayardo.
I'm Gene Ramirez. Thanks for joining us on this Monday morning. Let's head on over to Lee Spann for a check on the weather.
Well, a few things. You're certainly going to notice that it is warmer this morning than yesterday, but there's also a good many more clouds. 63 right now in Brooksville and Lakeland. You're going to start your day in Auburndale at 64, 69 in Sarasota. I mean, this is anywhere from 1 up to 8 degrees warmer than this time yesterday, and that's because of the clouds. So in your Metrocast, notice all the clouds this morning, right around 67 degrees at 8 a.m. Still mostly cloudy, although some breaks in the clouds at noon, 75 degrees. And we'll keep it mostly cloudy with about a 20% rain chance, 76 degrees at 4 p.m. So at 4:38, an 8-day temperature trend is coming your way. And Alyssa's going to let you know what's happening on the roads right now.
All right, so we got a pretty good drive. We're waking up to a very nice Monday morning. Let's go ahead and take a look here. This is right at the 175 and the 275 out in St. Pete. Things look great. Also a great drive on the Suncoast and the Vets. Let's look at weather and traffic. And now back to Gene and Gail.
Leslie, thanks for following breaking news this morning. A fire breaks out at a home nearby. Some suspicious graffiti found.
Yeah, the graffiti referred to President-elect Donald Trump. News Channel 8's Ryan Hughes joins us now live from Bryan Road in Hillsborough County. So, Ryan, what happened, and is the graffiti linked to the fire?
Well, good morning to you both. You can see the word Trump over my right shoulder. Before that word is an inappropriate word, and then right here it says burn everything with an arrow pointing to that home. And we're told by authorities that home was set on fire early this morning. Now, here's video of the home. It shows the message denouncing President-elect Donald Trump along with the words I just mentioned. It also says burn everything with that arrow pointing to the vacant mobile home next door. That place was subsequently set on fire. Crews got the call around 1:20 this morning. The fire wasn't too bad, and they managed to put it out quickly. Neighbors along Bryan Road in the Mango area are quite worried, wondering if this was simply an isolated incident or just the beginning. Listen here.
I was just truly broken, heartbroken. I feel like this is not going to be a good 4 years, you know. If we're going to have a civil war if this keep on, you know. This is just nonsense.
Really a crazy situation post-election. You can also see the letters here, BLM, most likely indicating the group Black Lives Matter, but we certainly don't have confirmation of that this morning. The fire marshal was here on scene. I talked to him roughly an hour ago. He says the investigation continues, Gail, and they are still looking into all this right now. Back to you.
All right.
Okay, it's me, Ryan. Thank you so much. We'll check back with you as you learn more this morning. Also, right now, Donald Trump, is he backing away from his most popular campaign promises? The president-elect may reconsider parts of Obamacare after previously promising to get rid of it all. Meredith Sansulo joins us now from the News Center. And, Mayor, this is just one of those campaign promises that Donald Trump now appears to be reconsidering.
That's right. He appears to be softening his stance on Obamacare, saying he'll look at keeping certain aspects of the health care plan. In an interview with CBS 60 Minutes, the president-elect says he favors keeping the laws ruling barring insurance from turning away those with pre-existing conditions, as well as its allowance that those up to age 26 can remain on their parents' insurance. And he says the repeal of Obamacare and the replacement with the new plan will not leave anyone without coverage.
We're going to repeal it and replace it. And we're not going to have like a 2-day period, and we're not going to have a 2-year period where there's nothing. It will be repealed and replaced, and we'll know. And it'll be great health care for much less money.
On immigration, Trump said his priority is to deport undocumented immigrants with a criminal record. He estimates that would include 2 to 3 million people with a criminal record or known gang members and drug dealers. Trump also said portions of the border wall may end up being a fence. Trump says he is fine with the Supreme Court's marriage equality ruling, but that he would appoint justices who were pro-life. Mr. Trump Trump said the determination of the legality of abortion would ultimately be made at the state level. Gene.
Okay, Meredith, thank you.
Well, President-elect Donald Trump has made 2 major White House staff picks.
The head of the Republican National Committee will be Donald Trump's right-hand man. Chief of Staff will be Reince Priebus, the RNC chair. Then Chief Strategist, former campaign CEO Steve Bannon. Donald Trump's campaign statement referred to the 2 men as, quote, equal partners.
We are very grateful in Trump world to both Bannon and Priebus. And I think you'll see them continue to work together.
Reince Priebus is among the longest-serving chairman of the Republican Party. Meanwhile, Steve Bannon helped orchestrate Donald Trump's rise to victory.
Well, 6 days after Trump won his bid for the White House, people continue to take to the streets in protest. Tens of thousands turned out to protest in cities large and small across the country. Those include New York City, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and Chicago. Most protests have been peaceful, but some turned into riots. Hundreds have been arrested, 71 arrests in Portland alone. Demonstrators also gathered in our own Sunshine State. These protesters took a peaceful approach. In Sarasota this weekend, they were chanting, quote, "Love Trump's hate." Dozens held signs and talked about why they don't like President-elect Donald Trump. Well, this morning, the Bucs are celebrating a big win against the Chicago Bears, but that's not what has people talking here in the Bay Area. Bucs wide receiver Mike Evans is coming under heavy criticism on social media for protesting the election of Donald Trump by not standing for the national anthem before the game at Ray J. News Channel 8's Mary McGuire joins us now live from Raymond James Stadium. So, Mary, did the team have anything to say about this?
Well, they actually did issue us a statement late last night, but Evans actually had a lot to say after the game to our News Channel 8 cameras after that game at Raymond James Stadium. Evans explained his controversial stand after the game, saying it was different from that of San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick, not standing to protest what he called the oppression of African Americans and police brutality.
I know Kaepernick did that. I'm doing it for a different reason, for how, you know, a reality star can be the president, and that's not a good look for America, I don't think. I'm not going to stand for that. You know, when Ashton Kutcher, comes out and says we've been punked, then I'll stand again, but I won't stand anymore.
Now, late last night, the Bucs did release an official statement regarding the Evans protest, which read in part, "The Buccaneers are deeply committed to the military and honoring the great men and women who have dedicated their lives and who have made great sacrifices to ensure all of the tremendous freedoms we have in this great country. We all encourage all members of our organization to respectfully honor our flag during the playing of the national anthem. We also recognize every individual's constitutional right to freedom of speech, which is crucial to the American principles we cherish." Now, Evans is under fire for these actions on social media. Coming up in the next half hour, I'll have some of the reaction on social media from people who disagree with what he did at the game, Gail.
Yeah, I've been looking at it all morning, and there's a lot of people with plenty to say. Thanks, Mary. All right, it's 4:38 on this Monday morning. How's it shaping up out there, Lee?
You know, it's a little warmer due to some extra clouds around. We have a cold front on the way. Let me show you where it is now. It's just to our north. We're getting kind of a stream of clouds coming in, which made the supermoon be a little, playing a little bit of peekaboo overnight, but I've gotten already some good pictures. Now, the supermoon, of course, when the moon and the earth are close together, so the moon appears 14% larger and 30% brighter. The last time a supermoon was this big was back in January of 1948, and it won't happen again until November of 2034, and you'll still get a chance to see it tonight. But notice, today with the clouds, temperatures won't warm up all that much. Mid-60s this morning, mid-70s by lunchtime, and really afternoon high of only about 77. That's below the average of 78. Tomorrow, though, with more sunshine, cooler at 76. We get a nice little warm-up, staying dry as we head toward the weekend. Now we'll check in on traffic on the 8th. Hopefully it's not too busy early this morning.
No, it's actually pretty nice out there. We're waking up to a nice commute as of now. We've got a good drive on State Road 54. Just a lot of traffic lights to go through Newport Richey, but a very nice commute. Also on US 19 in and out of Palm Harbor, we're looking good as well. As I move over to these travel times here in Manatee County, a nice drive on I-75 throughout Bradenton and also throughout Sarasota. Now, we do have an accident on the surface roads in Sarasota. I've got that coming up in my next report. That's a look at weather and traffic on the 8s. Back to Jean and Gail.
All right, thank you, Leslie. Well, despite the controversy, it was a great day for the Bucs. Jameis Winston threw for 312 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Bucs beat the Bears 36-10 and got their first home win of 2016. The Bucs are now 4-5 and second in the NFC South. We play the Chiefs next Sunday, so go Bucs. Well, tragedy in Jacksonville.
And now an ongoing investigation. Coming up, a baby and 2 others killed, a woman nearby shot. Are these crimes related?
Plus 13,000 acres burnt to ashes, but it's not just one fire and not just in one state. Details on News Channel 8. It's 440.
Right now, a baby and 2 other people are dead after a shooting in Jacksonville. This happened outside a food mart. Investigators say 2 women, a man, and that infant were in a car when they were shot. Shortly after, a 5th woman showed up at the hospital with a gunshot wound. Investigators are trying to figure out if the shootings are related. They're interviewing neighbors and witnesses in hopes of identifying a shooter and a motive in this case.
This morning, we're learning more about a shooting in East Tampa. Police were patrolling the neighborhood in an unmarked cruiser when someone shot at them. No one was hurt. Investigators arrested Demetrius Mitchell and charged him with aggravated assault. Police also tell us Mitchell has a long criminal record and served time in prison for carjacking. An ATV crash in Polk County killed a 5-year-old boy and injured his father. The crash happened as 32-year-old Joshua Hurd was riding in a strawberry field with his son Eli. When Hurd turned the vehicle, the front tire support broke, causing the ATV to flip. 5-year-old Eli was wearing a helmet, but it did not save his life.
That's terrible. And today, Pinellas County officials will host a fraud awareness workshop. This workshop will help citizens identify potential fraud scams. It's happening from 9 this morning until noon at the Peacock Center in Seminole Gardens. The address is 8324 112th Street North. And there will be workshops every day this week. You can find more times and locations on WFLA.com.
Across America this morning, firefighters across the southeast are battling wildfires in several states. Look at it there. Fires are burning in Georgia, Tennessee, and North Carolina. In Georgia, more than 20 fires are burning. One of the largest is in the North Georgia mountains. So far, it's burned more than 13,000 acres and is only 10% contained this morning. Now, this is the scene in Tennessee. That's where more than 70 wildfires are burning. Crews say the dry and windy conditions are making things difficult. As the flames spread, crews evacuated several mountain communities.
Time now 4:45. The massive manhunt for a man accused of shooting and killing a deputy is now over. Police captured 36-year-old David Machado Sunday. Prosecutors accuse him of shooting Deputy Dennis Wallace twice in the head at point-blank range. While on the run, investigators believe Machado committed an armed robbery and tried to steal a woman's purse at a convenience store. Protests over the North Dakota Access Pipeline continue to escalate. This weekend, a truck driver trying to get to the construction site pulled a gun on protesters blocking him. Video shows the driver, you see it there, holding that gun out of the window as protesters surround the truck. No one was hurt. Protests over this pipeline have been going on for months now. Protesters fear the pipeline could affect the area's water supply and also disturb tribal cultural sites.
New Zealand is assessing the damage after a powerful quake there. It measured 7.8 on the Richter scale and caused some significant damage to roads and homes. 2 people died. Several others were injured. In video from one man, you can see plants shaking inside his home as the quake shook the area.
And now an 8 on your side medical report. The way a child is born could determine if that child will struggle with obesity. Researchers at Johns Hopkins discovered 40% of children delivered by C-section are more likely to be overweight or obese. Experts believe C-section babies are not exposed to microbes in the birth canal that help boost metabolism and train the immune system.
Well, reassuring news this morning for arthritis sufferers worried about the side effects of the popular drug Celebrex. A safety study found that Celebrex is no riskier for the heart than some other painkillers. Researchers tested the medication against prescription strength ibuprofen in people with heart disease or a high risk for it. Well, they determined Celebrex was not any riskier than similar medications and actually caused fewer stomach problems. All right, the time right now is 4:47. A little bit cloudy out for folks trying to find that supermoon.
Yeah, we've gotten some good pictures in. And tonight, you'll also be able to see the full moon, basically. But we'll still be playing peekaboo with those clouds because we have a cold front coming in. 67 degrees, so it's much warmer this morning than yesterday. But the clouds are going to hang around. Will you see peaks of sunshine? Yes, you'll just also see more clouds. 75 degrees, maybe a sprinkle at noon. 77 with a 20% rain chance and mild around 3 p.m. Look at these temperatures, 64 in Auburndale, 63 Inverness, Brooksville, 65 in Lake Placid. I mean, this is pretty significantly warmer than yesterday by 7 degrees in Lakeland and in Plant City. That's what I'm talking about. We have the clouds really streaming in across the area out ahead of this cold front. So as the morning progresses, yeah, you might see a little bit of a light drizzle this morning. I think we'll have a better chance, about a 20% rain chance as we head toward the afternoon. Even overnight, I keep clouds in as the cooler air arrives, but the clouds clear out tomorrow. And look, we have beautiful weather for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Leslie, how's traffic on the 8th?
All right, well, we're looking at Sarasota right now, and here's what's going on. Just a reminder, new traffic pattern. Maybe a little bit of construction still lingering around I-75 and University. It's usually cleared up by 6 a.m. Southgate Circle at Siesta Circle, right at the roundabout here. We have an accident with injuries in Sarasota. It's tying up a portion of that roundabout. Now, traffic is still very light. It's very early in the morning, but I want you to keep that in mind. All right, let's go ahead and take a live look here at 275 and Hillsborough Avenue. It looks great in Tampa right now. We're not seeing any delays. This is 275 right around Bird. That's a look at weather and traffic. Back to Gina Gale.
Leslie, thank you. Building a gun at home is not as difficult as you may think.
Yeah, coming up, how some companies are making the process easy, leaving some Florida officials pretty worried. Also, you've probably heard of this mannequin challenge going around. Well, it's happening on our talk show here on News Channel 8 Daytime. And somehow Meredith Cincillo and I were able to sneak into the studio and participate. If you want to take a sneak peek at what you can expect later this morning, head to my Facebook page, WFLA Gail Guayardo, on both Facebook and Twitter. It's 4:49.
In the fight against Zika, researchers in Miami are experimenting with a new method to prevent the virus from spreading. This method involves using mosquitoes infected with a naturally occurring bacteria. It's called Wolbachia. These bacteria-carrying mosquitoes can infect mosquitoes carrying Zika, which may hinder their ability to transmit the virus to humans.
Law enforcement officials in Volusia County are worried about what's called ghost gun kits. They allow people to assemble military-style semi-automatic rifles at home. The kits have no serial number or markings for the weapons, making them untraceable. Officials also worry about the kits since they can be purchased online without a background check. In an 8 on Your Side Consumer Watch this morning, a holiday hit blamed for overheating and catching fire could be making a comeback this holiday season. We're talking about hoverboards. Both Walmart and Target are including hoverboards in their Thanksgiving night doorbuster Black Friday deals. You'll remember last year, thousands of hoverboards were recalled following reports of fires. Makers claim they fixed the problem.
Well, gift cards are pretty popular during the holidays, but it seems we like giving them more than receiving them. A study by Bankrate.com found just 27% of Americans want a gift card. However, half of people plan to give a gift card this holiday season. Many people say they prefer getting an actual item instead of a gift card because, you know, it requires a little more thought.
You know, I will admit, I'm not a fan of the gift card.
I like them.
I know
like
you were going to give me one, but don't. You can refrain. Okay. It's a growing addiction across the nation. We're not talking about drugs or alcohol. We're talking about cell phone addiction.
And you, in our next half hour, a look at just how addicted some people are to their phones and the serious problem that's creating.
Well, it is 4:58, time for weather and traffic on the 8s, and there's been a little bit of patchy fog. Yesterday morning, boy, it was thick out there, but this morning, not as bad. Just a little bit of haze, especially up in the Brooksville area, and along I-4, again, that's pretty fog-prone area, but not too widespread this morning, not like yesterday. This is all out ahead of an approaching cold front. Notice the extra clouds around. I'll kind of zoom in here a little bit more. Might even be getting a sprinkle or two happening up in Inverness and Brooksville, Citrus and Hernando counties, but I'm only keeping in about a 20% chance of a light shower through the day today as this cold front arrives. So staying mostly cloudy. Yes, you'll see some sunshine, some breaks in those clouds, just more clouds than we ended up seeing yesterday with a high of 77. Tonight, even as the cooler air arrives, the clouds are going to linger behind the cold front. So cooler tomorrow at around 59 degrees. I'll tell you when the sunshine breaks back out and how long that lasts coming up. Leslie, let's check on traffic on the
All right, I want to show you a little bit of that patchy fog that Lee's been talking about here. This is I-4 right around McIntosh Road coming away from the Plant City area. A little patch here on camera, so just keep that in mind. Once you move out, you know, it goes away, it comes back again, very patchy. All right, let's take a live look here. We've got a great drive through Lakeland, and there's no delays on I-4 as you stretch between the Polk Parkways. Also good drive on I-75 in and out of Pasco County. Let's talk about Sarasota. Now, the interstate looks good, a little bit of construction around University. That's nothing out of the ordinary there. But Southgate Circle at Siesta Circle, there's a roundabout here, folks, and we do have a collision with injuries involved, so a lot of activity there, and it is blocking part of that roundabout. So keep that in mind. Meanwhile, a good drive continues south and north on I-75 through the Suncoast area.